So see now Biden, they say, has a whole list of regrets that he has before the things that he wish he could have changed before he leaves office. Let's hit it.
Let's talk more about Joe Biden because he has some regrets. Wishes he had done some things differently. Now that he is on the doorstep of walking out of the White House, he's looking back and saying, hey, what could I have done differently? And the main thing seems to be he wishes he would have stayed in the race. He thinks he could have won with some of the reports over the weekend.
We already covered that. There's no way in hell he would have won that race. I mean, I try to play the devil's advocate and say, well, it's a popularity contest, which it is, but in the end, if you got sane people, there's no way in the world he could have won that race.
Somewhat delusional that he thinks he could have won. Because, I mean, he did give us all this evidence when he took the stage in that debate against Donald Trump.
That $2 trillion tax cut benefited the very wealthy. What I'm going to do is fix the tax system. For example, we have 1,000 trillionaires in America.
Look at Joe Biden's face. He stopped at like a really impromptu time, but you look at Joe Biden's face, not this picture here, but he's looking so serious, trying to sound like he's with it mentally. And up here, he probably think he is, but when it comes out your mouth, it ain't the same thing, old Joe.
Billionaires in America. If they just paid 24%, 25%, either one of those numbers, they'd raise $500 billion, I should say, making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been.
He knows what's going through Donald Trump mind right now. I know he feels sorry. I know he feels sorry for Joe Biden. Donald Trump tells you like this debate, presidential race is like he treats it like like boxing or world wrestling, WWE. You go back and forth before the fight, you bashing each other, you talking about each other, but once it's over with, you go back to being friends, and let that be the reason. So right now, I'm sure he's probably feeling like, God, this dude is losing it. Why don't he just step down, throw in the towel? But as long as he's in here, it's like Ali and Larry Holmes. Larry Holmes was trying to tell the referee to stop the fight when he was beating Ali. It was a no-win situation for him because if he would have lost to Ali, they say you lost to an old retired fighter. But if you beat him, they say, man, you beat an old should be retired fighter. Same thing.
We'll do with the with the COVID. Excuse me, with dealing with everything we have to do with. Look, if
Donald Trump wants the Democratic Party to throw in the towel right now.
We finally beat Medicare.
Thank you, President Biden.
And I'm going to continue to move until we get the total ban on the total initiative relative to what we're going to do with more Border Patrol and more asylum officers.
President Trump?
I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either. Look.
Donald Trump, that boy, that's petty. He's cold, but I'm laughing at Trump. I don't want to laugh at Biden because, hey, I hope that I can get the age of Joe Biden. I mean, hell, the man was president. If I can be his age and have enough mental capacity to at least be president of the United States, man, that's great. I want to live. But his mind, once your mind gets like that, man, it's time to sit down. And his wife, she ought to be ashamed of herself because she know her husband is like, he's not all there. Not on that level. Maybe at home talking in a slower, more relaxed, lavender-scented, area, he can probably talk and be cool. But in a high-pressure situation and stuff like this, his mind's not going to move fast enough.
That was the moment. And look, the struggling, the losing his train of thought, and then we finally beat Medicare. Very, very strange thing. And the problem that just comes back to mind, guys, is we were told leading up to that moment, aggressively, indignantly, that man was not only perfectly fine in that moment, right. He was suited and ready to go for 4 more years.
And in
That's
control.
What they told us, right? In control, sharp as a tack.
No way.
All of that nonsense. And then the lie, which was clearly a lie to many of us for quite some time, totally disintegrated over a span of about 20 or 25 minutes on that debate stage. That's why I think, Joe Biden's sort of an ornery guy in some respects. He's very proud. I'm sure he does believe that he could have stayed in the race and not been forced out and could have won. But delusional, I think, is the right word there. Kamala Harris was untalented and a terrible candidate, but she lost less badly than he would have, because the American people, 70 million tuned into that debate, they saw that person and said, there is no way he can be president for 4 more years. He would have lost badly, I think.
And think about it. You know why he would have lost? He probably wouldn't have lost because people would have chose to vote for Donald Trump. He would have lost because people would have not came out to vote. Just like black folks did with Kamala Harris when come to find out, a large number of black voters voted for her, but a large number of black voters overall didn't vote because they didn't think she was competent enough to run. And they didn't want to vote for Donald Trump, which is their right. I mean, that's the right of America. You feel like the candidates can do something for you, then you vote for them. If you don't, you stay home. It's as simple as that. You got the right to vote, you don't have to vote.
Remember going back to this summer and the way this whole thing played out. So there was this debate, then there was rumor about whether Joe Biden would stay in the race. Then George Clooney comes out with the op-ed that was the first knife in the back. After just 2 months earlier, he told the country at that fundraiser with Obama that Joe Biden's fine. He should be the next president. He's totally fit to continue on this race. You should all give millions of dollars to keep him on the campaign trail against Donald Trump. Biden said, no, I'm staying in. Then you started seeing additional people coming out and saying it's time to go. Nancy Pelosi was circling the wagons. You had Barack Obama doing it. You had Adam Schiff doing it. And as Joe Biden continued to double down and make the single case, show me polling that shows that Kamala Harris is a better candidate than I am against Trump, and I will drop out of the race. They couldn't do it. And eventually the pressure got so high that he resigned from the campaign trail through a letter that was put out on a Sunday afternoon on X. And we didn't hear from him for 24 hours. So there wasn't a lot of explanation about why. After for weeks, he was saying, I'm not leaving the race. I can beat Trump. I'm a better candidate. And now the Washington Post is reporting it this way. They're saying, quote, in private, Biden has also said he should have picked someone other than Merrick Garland as his attorney general, complaining about the Justice Department's slowness under Garland in prosecuting Trump and its aggressiveness in prosecuting Biden's son, Hunter. So while all this is going on with him being exposed at the debate for his mental acuity, his son, Hunter, is going to be on trial for a number of felonies.
Think about it like this. Let's say you're 47 years old, right? You got a history of being a pretty decent basketball player in your heyday. You shoot, play defense, run with the best of them. By the time you get 47, you probably haven't really played like you used to, or you think you are, but you can't jump out the gym like you used to. You don't have the stamina like you used to. But you still go out there and you play little pickup games with people your age. In comes a younger fella, maybe 12, 13 years old, not the skill level that you have. I mean, but athletic, but doesn't have the mental, doesn't have the knowledge of the game like you do. So now you can watch this person play, this young kid play, and you're like, man, that kid don't play defense. That kid, all they want to do is shoot threes. Man, I can get out there and beat them. And you say, but people say, bro, you don't have, you can't. The boy is 12, but he's like 6 foot and he runs like a gazelle and jumps like a deer. You can't, what I'm saying? You can't beat him. Say, yeah, but he don't have basketball skills. Can't really dribble. And all he want to do is shoot threes all day. I can go out there and beat him. Matter of fact, tell me a poll where people feel that he's a better player than I will, and I'll drop out the race. Thing is, 10 years ago, if he was 12 and you was 37, you probably could beat him. But at 47, nah, you got the knowledge and you still got a little game, but in the end, that dude will just beat you on sheer, sheer just youth alone. People will probably go for that person just for youth. And they know if they had to take a chance of, playing a pickup game and winning, they would probably lose, but they won't lose as bad with that young boy because they have a little more fear of that young boy than they would have of you. That's Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. He understands politics. He's been a senator, been a president, so he knows the game. He probably forgot more than she has learned in her lifetime. But he just could. I mean, in the beginning, he may have a lot of knowledge and stuff, but in the end, he wouldn't be able to. He wouldn't beat her. And but you know, if the Democratic Party is going to lose, you just won't lose as bad with Kamala that you would with this guy here because this guy just showed you he had he just couldn't do it. But they hid Kamala for a long time, just going off the hype. If they could have hid a little bit longer, she might have would have beat Trump. But she had to come out there and debate, and that's what messed her up.
And at this time, he's still insisting he's not going to pardon him, which, of course, we all know was not true either.
So he's laying his cards on the table as well. The lawfare was designed to affect the electoral hopes of Donald Trump. And he's saying, Merrick Garland didn't press the issue enough, or I would have won. Soon enough, fast enough, hard enough. And if you had Merrick Garland, he has regrets apparently now about Merrick Garland, then I might have won. I mean, you have explained exactly what we all accused you of for some time. You're using the justice system, weaponizing it in pursuit of a political end.
So if he had put
But
him
yet you
in
want to prosecute Trump all over the country for weaponizing politics and trying to overturn an election.
prison, federal prison, before the Supreme Court could have come down with the immunity ruling that they did in June, that's Biden's argument that he would have been able to win this election, which is insane and anti-American.
Reportedly complaining to enough people behind the scenes that this is now leaking out to the Washington Post. His one, aside from getting out of the race, his one biggest regret is having an attorney general who didn't prosecute his opponent fast enough and who did prosecute his criminal son. And he's saying it openly. So the game is sort of over at this point, right? And so he's dishing out his pardons and grousing on his way out the door. And I think there's a reason why his approval ratings are absolutely in the toilet right now. He has very much earned them.
And what does Joe Biden do when he leaves office on January 20th, right? I mean, the Democratic Party is looking forward to him leaving.
Well, he can finally take a break and go to the beach.
He can finally take a vacation, maybe, but what a legacy there.
Yeah.
I'm Steve.
Yep. So about a month from now, 30 days from now. No, that's a lie. 21 days from now, from the recording of this video, Joe Biden will be leaving office and Donald Trump will be put in. It's time for Joe Biden to ride off into the sunset and just relax with his wife. You know, like she said, go on the beach, go to in the woods to a cabin and just enjoy your last few days and you just go from there. But yeah, the man will see now. There's no way in hell he would have won. Everybody knew it. Democrats knew it. And that's why they went and got Kamala Harris. Again, I've already told y'all, talked about the money laundering and legalized money laundering with all these donations to get the money back into circulation so they can use it again. Because they're probably running out of money sending it all to Ukraine and spending it on these migrants. So you got to get all the money back that you can. But hey, we put that on different videos. Go back and watch them. But anyway, tell me what you think about this story. Leave your comments below. Share it with the world. Let's have an intelligent conversation. You know how we do around here. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Those 4 things cost you maybe a couple of minutes out your day, but it means the world to us here. If you want to support us financially, you can get super thanks, super chat, super stickers, and you can go to the description box below. Links there you can click on to help us out there. With that being said, I'll leave you in peace, and I'll see you on the other side.